Mhm.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to NFL Draft Live. Jake Shavink here, of course. Nate Williamson is with me once again this week. Nate, how you doing?
Yo, what's good? I'm doing well. I am currently running through a draft simulator. It's that time of year.
It is.
It's hype. It's that time, man.
It feels good. I saw this the other day. Somebody said this, and I think it makes perfect sense. Mock drafts are legitimately NFL fan fiction.
Yeah.
It's 100% what they are.
Yeah.
I think it's hilarious that's somebody said that. I think it's completely true, and I think we're going to do one of those today for the Detroit Lions, who we are fixing today. It should be a fun show. We're going to talk about the Lions, who I think, Nate, I don't know about you, I feel like they're kind of going in the right direction.
No, yeah, I
completely
completely
feels like
agree.
they are. You know?
Yeah. No, I absolutely agree. I think this team is headed in the right direction. I think more so than a lot of the teams we're going to work on here, and more so than some of the teams that maybe even in the playoffs this year that kind of this year might falter and might fall down, whether it's a cap space issue, whether it's just too many guys getting a little bit older, quarterbacks leaving. I think when you compare them to a lot of teams, even not necessarily in their own division, but across the NFL, as we know, their division is always going to be tough. It's always going to be tough in the NFC.
Yeah,
it always is. They're trending up, I would say. I am a fan of the coaching staff as well, and I think from what I've seen from them, from Senior Bowl past and present, I think the future is pretty bright there. Much like the city of Detroit, which gets bagged on a lot. It's a pretty dope place.
Yeah, I think once the whole this is Dan Campbell, like the first press conference, and the couple weeks following, we're kind of like, oh no, Dan Campbell, what is this? What are we walking into as Lions fans? I think they're going to be okay. I think the perception has changed for sure. And to get a win, I know we're probably going to call the Cardinals fraudulent down the stretch. I understand why, but that was still a decent football team for a reason. Kyler Murray is tough to handle. They've got playmakers on defense. To go in and even at home, but to go in and kind of just beat the brakes off them was a huge deal. That's a huge win for a franchise like that. I mean, even beating your division rival like Minnesota, huge like that as well. I mean, there's something there. There is something there, and I'm excited for them. So to start with, really, I think really quick, I think we'll just start with current roster thoughts for the Lions and just kind of what we see up and down the roster. And I think there are good things. Just to start off, I mean, the running back room looks nice. And to have a guy like Jamal Williams for another year, love that player. Obviously, he was a Packer. Really good downhill runner, tough, no nonsense, all the intangibles. You got Swift, who's an electric playmaker, and Jamar Jefferson, who played well as well. In the absence of Swift. So I really like what they've got there. Obviously, you got Hawkinson, who's a stud. Just got to keep that man healthy. We'll get there. The Hawkinson stands, we're still alive. No doubt about it.
Still hanging in there.
Yeah, absolutely. And the offensive line, I mean, if Dan Campbell, you felt like this was going to be the case, but the trenches look great, Nate. If you just look up and down right now, the trenches look good, and that's not shocking with Dan Campbell.
No, it's not. He is probably, and I said this earlier, and now it's kind of dawning on me. I'm thinking, I said I like him, and I said I like his staff. Is it because we share similar thoughts about those guys in the trenches? If you've watched us do anything NFL for a long time, that's where I love to watch and love to learn. As a 5'10", undersized white guy, naturally, that's my natural habitat. So
Nate, you would have played some great offensive line in the 1960s. Let me tell you.
Yeah, probably. Okay? Maybe throw me in the line in the 1930s. I think I have just the right mean streak to be on there.
I think so. You'll get after it. But yeah, it's a great group. I know, Nate, we're going to talk about some potential cuts down the road to how we can free up a little more cap space to kind of address some things in free agency that we want to. But Decker and Sewell, that's nice. That's nice. Ragnow there for a long time. And hopefully, you know, with the guard situation with Jonah Jackson, Stenberg, and obviously Vaitai, who we may bring up later, all of those guys are, I mean, it's a great group up front. NFL draft. We're in the middle of the most important of the season. Not for everybody, though. Got to remember that. Not everybody.
Only for how many teams are left?
A quarter of the league is left.
6?
3/4 of the league is doing this
8?
already. I will say.
I don't even remember. It's not very many compared to the 32.
Yeah. But yes. Oh, do you want divisional picks? Well, if you stick around, maybe we'll do that at the end. Throw some divisional picks at the end, maybe. Or Nate, do you want to do it right now? I'm going to say that I think the Packers are going to lose.
I think the Packers are going to lose as well. Unfortunately, that's as a Saints fan, I think they're Tom Brady just has it. Tom Brady just has it.
Got you. But I think it's going to be Niners, Bucks, and I think it's going to be Bills, Titans. Those are my final 4 teams. Right.
That kind of hurts me, but nobody's ever tweeted about a Joe Burrow playoff loss. So.
I want the Bengals to win so bad.
Me too. I just don't see it happening.
Bengals Bills would be electric. That would be so much fun.
Yeah.
And Packers Rams is obviously the ideal NFC championship, if we're being honest.
They are really well. The Titans are really well rested.
Yeah, they are.
And the Bengals are kind of like Trey Hendrickson cleared concussion protocol, so that's a big boost for them.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a tough one for Cincinnati. And,
that's
another team, a bright future, which I'm sure we'll talk about too.
That's true. I'm sure we will talk about them. But yeah,
I am an honorary Bengals fan right now. So,
yeah. Oh, thanks. Cosplay General Manager, great guys over there. You guys should follow their YouTube channel. They just posted something actually on Sauce Gardner, which was good. I recommend it. But we appreciate you guys a ton. Let's get back to the Lions really quick with the roster thoughts. Just the trenches, like we said, they're loaded up front there, and then they drafted 2 guys. On the defensive line, Alan McNeil and Levi Nwuzurike, who McNeil played really well, really clogging up the front. And Nwuzurike's got some ways to go. He was more an athletic guy, a little bit of a project, got to work on pad level and stuff like that. But I like what they have there as well. Not to mention, Nate, Charles Harris, out of nowhere, has a phenomenal year for these guys. And pushes double-digit sacks, pushes for it, and obviously now sitting as a free agent, but a former first-round pick who comes up big for them down the stretch in some key games and keeps them in it.
And maybe most importantly, someone that probably will not eat up a lot of cap space, even though he had an up year. He had 7.5 sacks, 10 TFL. It's great for him. As a former first-round pick, you love to see guys come back.
Absolutely.
But I don't think it's going to break the bank if you do want to keep him around. And that's one of the guys that I think they really should keep around. I think one of the best ways to win in the modern NFL is cause chaos in the backfield. And if you can keep your defensive line strong, you got to do everything you can to do it.
Yeah, there's obviously differing opinions on how you want to create pressure in the NFL. But I will say there are some, and I love to subscribe to this idea of creating interior pressure. I think it's so important when you have guys like a Burrow, like a Tom Brady, guys who like to step up in the pocket, and maneuver around. You need, and there are plenty of others, but those 2 immediately come to mind because they're still in the playoffs. But like creating that interior pressure is important for guys like that to get them off their rhythm. That's where you see Burrow in that offense struggle a little bit. That's where you see Brady in the offense struggle. So I like where they're going there. Yeah, I would agree that the Jets and the Giants both need to upgrade O-line, D-line. I have a feeling, Nate, when we do a live mock draft, which I think we're going to do at some point, O-line and D-line are going to come off the board quick based on what the order is right now. Just looking at those top 3 tackles, the edge rushers. If you need one at the end of the first, my condolences. Because
straight up
the are going to be gone. Yeah, exactly. So, but Nate, any other roster thoughts really on what you see with this Lions team? You can comment on the trenches as well if you want to go back to the tackles and whatnot up front.
There were a couple of guys that I put down, just in notes, getting prepared as far as guys to bring back. Somebody who really kind of surprised me, and I think a lot of other people, is Josh Reynolds this year. Sometimes it just takes the right scheme fit. And on a team that I think does probably draft a wide receiver with either their second first or their first second, That was a really
Nice.
confusing way to put that.
I love that.
That was a very
I love
stand-up
that.
comedian way of putting that,
I
but
love it.
I think that's going to be important for them
Yep,
to bring him back. And
100%.
another guy I don't think will break the bank, and they need as much cap space they can get, which we're going to talk a little bit about later. But even guys on that defensive secondary, you've got Tracy Walker that's kind of stepped up at secondary. If you choose to, get rid of a cap casualty guy like Will Harris, maybe who'd have a little bit underperforming, he could be one to keep around. Dude had 108 tackles this year at the safety spot. Pretty solid. And then when you go into the tackling section, Alex Anzalone, a former Saint, somebody that I love watching, who learned under some really, really solid linebackers, aka Demario Davis, on how to just kind of shut all that stuff down. Just somebody that was steady for them. That could be just huge.
Yeah.
And that's not even there's a lot more guys they could bring back. They have a lot of guys on the block or on the free agency. So
even Reeves Maben played some good ball.
That's another one I have written
as
down.
well, who really he played well. You have Barnes there, and I want to get to the secondary, like you mentioned with Will Harris. The corner room looks good, and I know the corner group is deep this year, and we talk about how talented it is. There's a chance they don't touch that until maybe even day 3. There's a chance they don't touch it. And I mean, Oruwariye, Melifonwu, you're still hoping for. You get a Kuda back, hopefully next year, ready to go. And Jerry Jacobs played well before he got hurt. So that room's loaded. I think linebacker is obviously a place we're going to look at, and we're going to talk about edge, especially when we get to the mock draft. I'm pretty sure. But but I do agree that if we move to free agents to sign, and Nate kind of started to give you some names there, I love the idea of Charles Harris. I think that makes total sense. No reason not to. You can never have enough of these guys. But Nate, I think you had some cap casualties, because I know right now, at least from Spotrac, the current space they have estimated for their top 51 is 29, just a hair over 29 million in cap space. Yeah. So Nate's here to give you guys some options to maybe free up a little bit of that space.
Yeah. I just you're kind of going through it and thinking about it. Just guys that they had signed on these big contracts. The Lions aren't in the worst space in the league in cap, but they're certainly not in the best for a team that struggled to win any games this season, to say the least.
No doubt.
Guys like Will Harris, like we talked about a little bit. A guy like Trey Flowers, who was brought in to kind of cement that linebacker spot, could see his way out the door in lieu of someone in the draft who I actually have one in mind that we'll talk about later. But you have guys like Michael Brockers, guys that you brought in that by all accounts should be staple pieces or at least solid contributors that just weren't. And I don't think Dan Campbell is going to stand for that. I don't think he doesn't seem like the kind of guy to waste money to me.
No, definitely not.
I think we're going to see a couple guys leave, and they might be bigger names. Michael Brockers a couple years ago was a big name for me.
Yeah.
But it's just
heads over in the Stafford Goff trade.
Yeah.
And just maybe
there.
isn't what you want up front. I mean, again, they doubled down defensive line and decently early too at that. So there's a chance. Yeah. Like you said, I think that you mentioned Trey Flowers, I believe as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I think when you look at the roster, edge, linebacker, safety are the big needs. And obviously you mentioned Josh Reynolds, and somebody who, again, was a little bit buried in the depth chart in Los Angeles with the Rams, comes in, performs pretty well. Cephas, I'm sure they still like as a possession guy, but obviously you have your Randall Cobb of sorts in Amon-Ra St. Brown, who can kind of do everything for you: backfield, slot, chip guys, block. He does really everything well, and obviously had a phenomenal rookie season. But there's still probably, even if you bring back Reynolds, I still think there's some room for improvement there. And that's kind of, I think, where we wanted to go with free agents to sign outside of their room. And I think I had 2 names, although I'm going to retract one and add a different guy, because the more I think about it, even though safety's a need, Nate, I don't know if Jesse Bates is going to be a Dan Campbell guy.
Yeah, I think that's an important thing to mention. There will not be a lot of guys, or there may be some guys, how I want to phrase that don't fit in what the Lions want to do. It's just the truth.
For sure.
It's true with every team, but especially the way Dan Campbell runs things. There will just be some guys that will not fit and will not fly.
Yep, no doubt. And Jesse Bates is a great single high safety. He plays really well. The problem is he just won't tackle.
Yeah.
So there is that issue. And as much as they need somebody who can create turnovers like that, I just don't know if that's the type of guy they want. I do think a guy like Michael Gallup makes a ton of sense for them.
Yeah.
Just because getting another separator in there, a dynamic player like him, the body control in the hands are phenomenal. Obviously, he's going to come off a tear in his knee. So how much do you value that? Listen, for me, this is a 2 to 3 year rebuild, and I think having a guy like Gallup be a part of that, even if he misses a majority of next season, I'm still there with.
It's huge. Yeah.
So that's kind of where I am with him. The other name I wanted to bring up, in case Charles Harris doesn't work out and they can't get him back, is Harold Landry, who had a phenomenal year with the Titans. No shock that it comes in a contract year for him, but again, a former second round pick, top 50 pick, who is, lightning quick off the ball and has gotten better every year.
Yeah. And, I had someone who kind of sheds into that category. If certain things don't work out in that secondary, an interesting guy that I wanted to bring up while we're on it is Jordan Whitehead, somebody from the Buccaneers that's coming off of pretty good year. He's kind of got that Von Bell player type where, it's just a certain thing. If they're going to keep guys like Tracy Walker, if they're going to keep Will Harris to that like hybrid safety role that he's kind of played, Jordan Whitehead's not even 25 yet. And, that kind of talent could go a long way for them.
Yep. 100%.
That or a guy like bringing in another Harris in Anthony Harris, which would be should be interesting. If they could get him to bounce back just like the other Harris bounced back, you never know.
Oh, yeah. No, I agree. That would be really nice. Two guys who hit hard, tackle well, and kind of can be moved around a little bit. Yeah. Harris kind of, in Minnesota at least, was kind of, they do that late motion. They do a lot of late rotation. And Harris was kind of either up near the box or back. And you get a guy like Whitehead who does kind of the same thing where he can drop down and be back as well. I think that gives you a lot of options if you can get one of those guys in house. And like we said, they're both Dan Campbell guys. There's no doubt. Yeah. So
that's kind of the thing. You want to create, like you said, there's a lot of camps out there that create pressure from various areas. If you want to create pressure, that's the kind of guy you want coming from that position.
Yes.
It's going to obviously depend on what they want to run. But, when you got a good DL, get those guys blocked up and send in a crashing secondary.
Yeah.
And just see what happens.
No doubt. I think that kind of like, I want to hear your opinion on this, Nate, at least before we get into the draft part of this. Sure. Is how many are, I don't know if I want to subscribe to the idea of, hey, let's throw in 5-6 big name free agents to try to get a bunch of guys in house right away. I don't think that's the approach that the Lions should be taking here.
No,
a la the Jaguars a few years ago who threw money like willy-nilly at people. I just don't like that approach, especially when, again, this is young guys are coming up. You want to build them up. If you're signing a bunch of like linebackers, that doesn't help with Derek Barnes, who I think can be a very good player in Detroit. Like, I think you pick and choose a couple, 2 to 3 guys that you really want to bring back or bring in and kind of go from there.
Yeah, no, I think if any time you do that, it should be at the end of what, like you said, that 2 to 3 year rebuild, right. Where you bring in that last
missing
piece that really cements the whole deal. But right now, there's no reason to blow your money on a player. You could bring in a great player, but if the rest of that supporting cast is bad, you're going to end up with, I'm trying to think of a recent example. It would be like taking Tom Brady and putting him on a 6 or 7 years ago Bucs team. It would kind of be like, okay, that's great. But or maybe even more recently at Joe Burrow, a couple, like when he first got into the league, what are you going to do? You can't protect him. You don't have anybody for him to throw to hardly.
Yeah.
So you have to be careful with where you allocate that money.
Yeah. And I think especially the draft with them becomes interesting because of a certain position that I think we're going to talk about. But yeah, when you look at, guys up and down, I mean, if you really want to, be this 12 personnel type team, if David Njoku doesn't re-sign with the Browns, I would like that as well. But then again, that's the other thing we want to talk about too, really quick before we get in, is the age of the guys you're going to bring in. Like a Charles Harris at I don't know if he's 26, 27 at this point, but that's young enough. I don't need to be bringing in the 35, 34-year-old guys to help me with a role on a championship team. That's not what we are.
Right.
I want the young guys who, this is, we're going to bring these guys in and they're going to be major parts of this for several years. Like you said, like a Whitehead or, a Harold Landry or a Michael Gallup, somebody who's going to, be here for quite some time and not just, a year or two. We're not doing Texans things around here. Let's put it that way. We're not doing that. So that I do think is interesting. Obviously Landry's 25 and some change, and get guys like that. But the tight end group in free agency looks pretty good. Forgot that Schultz is going to be one as well.
Yeah, it's shaping up to be pretty good. And in a class where there really isn't a super standout tight end, but there's probably some depth there. It'll be interesting to see how teams play out with it.
No doubt. All right.
Or you could just do what the Chiefs do and use your starting center or guard as a tight end, a la Nick Allegretti.
There you go. You can do that.
So you can do whatever you want.
Tight ends are a thing. There's no doubt.
And they are fun. And that is a Dan Campbell move.
It is. Oh, it is. So much so. So now I think it's time, Nate, we do our little shift from free agency. And we talked about a lot of guys they could bring in, but not too many, of course. But now it's draft time. And I think we're going to do a mock, but I want to do a few questions first before we get to that mock draft, because we're going to do it live. We're going to do it on the NFL Mock Draft Database Simulator. Great simulator. Denny's good guy. Aggregates so much info on that site. I'll probably put that in the description when this is done if you want to check that out. All right, Nate. So let's put this scenario on the board here because the Lions pick second. Let's say the Jaguars take Evan Neal first. Who you got?
Oh, man. That is...
Who you got?
That is the question of the offseason, isn't it?
Yeah. Who you got?
Personally, I think Aiden Hutchinson is a prototype type player. And I think he's just someone that, very rightfully is on that freaks list for this draft class. And somebody that really brings the whole thing. I don't think he's that far ahead of Kayvon Thibodeau, but I think he's ahead as of where I stand right now.
Look at that. I love it. I love that. I love the difference in opinion ahead of the draft. I know people for some reason don't like that.
Yeah, people don't like
get and conform.
People don't like dissent at all.
No, and I do think there's somebody who I think matches your opinion on Twitter that I follow who would say that. I think I don't know why Dan Campbell to me just feels like Aiden Hutchinson's his type of guy. I'd probably take Thibodeau. In my opinion, because I think the ceiling is insane. It's through the roof. And I think he's and Thibodeau. I want to point this out too, because we often talk about getting after the quarterback, which is what these guys do that. But Thibodeau against the run is insane. Plays with great leverage, great hands, can get off blocks really quickly, and he can really launch himself by shedding, using the burst he has to really cover ground and have some range too against the run, which is great. And he is a nightmare against the run. And that's honestly something that may keep the Lions up at night is we've got, Aiden Hutchinson plays his butt off. He's extremely productive. He's been great, but Thibodeau's great against the run already. And this dude's potential is insane.
Look at
what
this
do we
man.
do? What do we do? I don't know.
Seriously, with Thibodeau, that guy's not only a game wrecker, but the only negative that I have written down about him right now is that he sometimes fails to disengage at the right time. And if that is your fault, go for it. Good. Because that just means you're working hard. And if working hard attracts one coach, it's Dan MF and Campbell.
Yeah, exactly. And these guys really, neither of them take snaps off at all. These dudes are insane with motors running hot all game. Oh, man. I don't envy the task here. Not saying either will be a bust, but there's a really good chance that one of them's better than the other, and you're sitting there like, should have done that. You never know.
That's why you trade back, obviously.
Do you?
No, absolutely not. No.
Karlaftis? I feel like Karlaftis would be a Campbell guy too, though. I'm not going to lie.
Probably would. There's a lot of Campbell guys in this draft, though. So
maybe not Ojabo. He's a little more toolsy, and he's there's just not much against the run right now, and I don't know if Campbell wants that 3-down defender early. I think he probably does, and the top 3, in my opinion, offer that. But okay, so we've kind of made our opinions. I think Nate said Hutchinson. I said I would take Thibodeau. I think the Lions will take Hutchinson, in my opinion. Okay. So, QB early is an interesting conversation with the Lions because
It's tough.
Their coaching staff is going to be down at the Senior Bowl. Little lead into next week. We're going to be talking about the Senior Bowl for the entire show next Thursday, and you dive into the position. It's going to be a blast. But they have a few quarterbacks, one of whom is Malik Willis, that they're coaching down in Mobile.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying that this is any guarantee, but we're sitting here obviously where we think 1, 2, 3 is probably some combination of Neil, Hutchinson, Thibodeau, Stingley, Hamilton, maybe, or probably those top 3. Maybe a second offensive lineman if Neil goes first. I don't know. Some combination of probably 5 or 6 guys that would be the first 3 picks. If the Lions like somebody enough, do you think it's even possible that quarterback is the first pick for them?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't.
Okay.
I really, truly don't. I think they've kind of come off of this quarterback experiment already. And I think it's kind of what we talked about earlier, where this isn't going to all be fixed in one draft. And next year's quarterback class is going to be better than this one. I mean, I'm comfortable going out and saying that right now.
We always, everybody goes, I love that everybody goes, oh, you don't know if it's better. When it's down, when 2022 is down like this, you can say things like that.
It's just look at who you're
Young
between.
Stroud.
You're Santa
Young Stroud are both already clearly above this group.
Easy.
Don't care.
Easy.
They're both above them.
Does that mean these guys won't go on and have a great career? No, absolutely not.
I don't think
multiple are they
will,
set up
personally.
Right now for a better career than what you're going to see next year? No, absolutely not.
I don't think so.
Absolutely
Either. That's kind of where the conversation is like, oh, Braden, what's up, man? How you doing? Welcome. Hope it's going well. Hope your Chiefs can figure it out. It should be a great game on Sunday.
Should be interesting.
Mason, I love it. Yes, true. The Lions quarterbacks, they're going to be scared of Trayvon Walker in green and gold. I agree. But yeah, Nate, do you think that it's possible at their second first round pick?
I think it's more likely. Okay. I think it's possible.
Not probable?
Not probable.
Okay.
I'm giving it somewhere between the 40 and 55% chance range.
I wouldn't do it. Run it back with Tim Boyle as backup.
I wouldn't do it right now either, but I don't know.
That's all
I'm saying. Man. There's plenty of serviceable guys that are going to get you through the next year or two. I think that'll come out in free agency. Yeah, that they could use, but
how long is Goff under contract?
I don't know, because Tim Boyle's contract is the only one that's up.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like.
So if you just bring him back, you're fine for a year.
2 years. I want to say Goff has 2.
Then I personally think you might as well.
Pretty sure he has 2.
But if you're really looking to upgrade,
he's got 3. He's got 3.
Oh God.
Goff has 3.
No, you're stuck for now.
The only other quarterback under contract, I will say, Steven Montez. Just a lovely player. Lovely player. We love Steven Montez,
Hear me out. Ready?
Braden, I'm with you, dog. We need it. The world needs it.
That's true.
We haven't gotten it in 2 tries yet in the regular season. I agree, but I don't think the Packers get it done this weekend even. I just got a funny feeling. And I don't like it because last year I feel like everybody was like, oh, man, this is the year we're hosting everything. I'm like, in that Bucks week, I'm like, man, no, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And then I see, I'm like, I don't know. This week feels very similar. But I hope so. I hope Mahomes Rodgers. But yeah, Nate, I agree. I don't quarterback early just I don't know. Make the roster better.
Yeah.
Make the roster better. Goff can do it. Again, you're going to take steps forward with Goff next season. You will.
Yes, I agree. Especially if you build around Goff. Yeah. That's what I was going to say. If
offensive lines are
working.
Offensive lines in place.
You have the pieces. You just need to be patient with who you're going to select to wear that crown.
Unless you love a quarterback.
Even
Unless
if you love a
love
quarterback.
one,
No.
I'm saying no. Here's the thing.
Don't
if you
do
love
it.
one, if you love one and you like, oh, Malik Willis or Sam Howell, we like that guy at whatever.
Round 3,
wherever the Rams pick is at 20, whatever. Okay.
28, I think.
I wouldn't.
Is it 28?
We don't know yet because the Rams are so.
Oh, that's true. Duh.
That's the problem.
Da.
So, well, we hope maybe it'll be 32.
I hope
Rams
not.
fans. I don't think so.
I don't think so.
No, I'm rooting for them against the Bucks. Don't get it twisted. All right.
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah, and last thing, I just want to talk wide receivers quick. I'm sure we're going to talk about it during when we do this mock draft too.
Yeah,
but we don't know if they're going to bring Reynolds back or not. We don't know if they're going to get a Godwin, a Gallup, Allen Robinson, a Devontae Adams. I don't think they're going to get Devontae Adams. Where do you start the conversation if you like somebody at the end of the first? I think you have to, because what if you don't get one of those guys? That's where it starts for sure. Maybe you move up. I wouldn't hate that idea either.
You know who my ideal candidate is, and you've drug it out of me. I was going to save it for our draft.
Who you like?
My ideal candidate is Treylon Burks.
Ooh.
For them. I think he just fits what they need next to St. Brown.
Size.
I think he fits. I think he fits in that offense, and he fits with a Dan Campbell guy. He's a guy who was an academic All-American, super smart guy, and just kind of fits that Dan Campbell stereotype. And it's either him or at that spot maybe a Jahan Dotson, who we have talked about already pretty extensively.
Yeah, the receiver group is the fluctuation is so wild. I hate it. I want all my evals for receiver to be done. Now.
Yeah.
So I could just say, you know what? That's what it is. I'm out. Like I don't. Garrett Wilson. My only thing with Dotson is I hope you have an X. Because he's not an X.
Yeah.
I think Wilson can be an X. Dotson with press sometimes, and I'm finishing up his eval actually for a YouTube video on Saturday. But like sometimes with press, he's kind of he kind of gets way off track a little bit, or he's late with his hands. And when you have an X and you're thinking that division, Jair, Jalen Johnson, I don't know. I love him as a Z. He's excellent. He's excellent. Twitch burst. Oh gosh, so much I love about John Dotson. But if they have Gallup in house, draft him. Do it. Love it. Go to sleep at night. Happy that you have Gallup, Dotson, St. Brown.
That'll be a nice receiving core.
Live by that.
That'll be a fun receiving core.
That would be great. I would love it. All right. You ready to do this, Nate?
Let's do it. I've already got my picks. I already went through it all, so I won't worry about my screen or anything like that.
Okay. You've done the mock, but
I've ran the mock.
You've done it. So are you making me do all the picks?
No. I mean, we can.
Okay.
I don't know. However you really want to do it.
All right. Well, it's here. Okay. I'm going to start it and we'll go.
And then I'll tell you who I.
Oh, well, all right. Division. Thank you. Thanks, Jaguars, for making it very, very easy for me.
That made it really easy. Yeah.
They need to start making that thing take Neil sometimes because it definitely can happen.
And put a call in. Get the
I'm going to put
a
ticket in. Who do I like?
Matt Corral. Aiden Hutchinson.
Hutchinson is the pick here for the Lions. Obviously, Nate, we're in the Lions draft room right now. We just love this kid's work ethic. Just sneaky athletic. No, I'm just playing.
Yeah.
No, phenomenal.
No,
athlete.
don't do that to him.
Phenomenal athlete, incredible hands. Counters are great, and I think he shows up big when you need it. He's going to be a Dan Campbell guy for sure. Like we said, so I think any of the top 3 edge rushers are Dan Campbell guys. I don't think you can go wrong. So
I have a question.
Yeah.
How tempted are you to double dip?
Don't tempt me. I'll do it, Nate. I'll take Jermaine Johnson. I'll do it. I'll take Cameron Thomas.
I just think that you don't have to do it right here necessarily if you're going to.
Ooh.
Those are 2 really interesting picks.
Or Or do you know what? I just love the idea of Hawkinson and McBride on my squad.
It would be a fun ride. That's a very Dan Campbell offense there.
I'd do it.
Not to mention they have Jason Kabinda, who the fullback who plays tight end.
They're gonna hand me this. You guys are.
I will tell you.
Think I won't do this. What's up?
I picked him with that pick.
Did you really?
In my draft, I did.
Where the heck did Lloyd go?
He fell down.
16.
He went at 16.
Okay.
Oh, Jameson at 18. That's. Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, the Raiders took Burks.
My most recent one, I took Nakobe Dean. The one earlier, I took Burks.
Okay. I wanted Drake London. So.
But I think if you're going linebacker, you're gonna hand it. They're gonna hand that to you. But
yeah. Well, receiver, I don't know. Bell Pickens.
I think there is depth at this receiver spot, but how much do you want to toy with that in a
I don't know. How much do I want to toy with not having Lewis Cine on my team? Here's the thing. I'm gonna do the honorable thing. I'm gonna make my decisions now. I'm taking a linebacker and a safety from Aiden Hutchinson's opponent in the semifinal. I'm going to go Dean here. I'm getting Cine right after.
I respect that.
Mad respect. Very heavily. Here we go. Cine.
That fills two really big time needs.
If you don't think we're selling Cine Dean t-shirts in Detroit, we are. Dean. Just let you know.
Okay, you want to know who I took with this next pick?
Wait, with your first three, what'd you do?
My first three was Hutchinson, Dean, and this will be the third. Oh, the third, actually, Jamari Sawyer was my third. Excuse me.
Oh, you took Sawyer at 30?
Yeah,
30,
I took Sawyer, definite Dan Campbell guy, somebody that kind of generates that vertical movement in the run game that they're going to need. Guy you plug in on the interior. I think he's a starting NFL guard.
I like it.
And then after that, wait, actually, I'm sorry. Okay, so it was Thibodeau, Burks, Dean, Sawyer.
Oh, okay.
Was the
that
first
makes
four.
A lot more sense.
My fault. I misread that.
Oh my heavens.
I definitely misread that. It was.
I was just gonna let it slide. I was like, Nate.
No, at first I was kind of like that. Doesn't sound. It was different on my draft on my screen than what I have in my notes. Is where I messed it up.
Got you.
I was like,
this dude's way better than 247. But yeah, I got you.
Yeah, definitely not using.
Okay, so this is the Sawyer
interior.
This is the Sawyer pick. I understand.
Yes.
Where is he? Did he go?
He might have went.
Maybe he did go.
He did. He went to the Bengals.
Oh, he did? Oh, he did. Dang. Smart.
That's Bengals. A good pick for them.
What the heck are the Bengals are smart with linemen? What year is this? Okay.
2022. It's a new generation. Joe Burrow's making the picks.
Joe Burrow for GM.
Joe Burrow just runs that organization.
He's now the youngest GM. Aaron Rodgers already set the record, but Joe Burrow resets that.
The most recent player coach in human history.
Yeah. Okay. This is where I think I'm going wide receiver. Yeah. I don't think I want to wait. I just like when you look at like Dubes, Ross, Pierce, Watson would be nice as an X, but I want to get a guy who I trust a little bit more. I like Pierce. I'm going to take Pierce here from Cincinnati. I'm just taking guys from playoff teams. Obviously, my draft knowledge is not deep or anything, right?
Just going with the guys from the Big
Just
Four,
scouted
right?
the guys from the playoff. Obviously, who else do you need? Those are the best teams. Okay.
This program is a sham.
This is so funny.
I'm going to watch someone else.
Okay. We have nice pick, Green Bay. We love you for that. Okay. Let's think about this now. This is the greatest draft of all time. I would feel bad doing that.
Okay, so
happen.
That I feel bad doing earlier with a couple of guys.
I'm not taking.
No. And I was like, no.
Everybody
there were some
quarterbacks.
Right, some of the big quarterbacks left in round 4, and I was like, I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah. Okay. Chat. Like, I think I want to take a step back. We're not gonna pick Weidermeyer. I really don't think he's gonna be available at 97. But if you want to correct me right now and say take him, then that's fine. But I want to at least be a little bit. honest with the board here. I love what tight end offers, though. Twist my
Cade
arm.
Otton.
I just want to look at one thing.
Checking out the contracts on your backup tight ends.
I don't like any of these guys. We're taking one of those.
Yeah, it's not looking great after TJ. It's really not.
I have to remember what I have. Oh, shoot. I don't pick for a while. Okay.
Yeah, this is the big break.
Okay.
But then you have four pretty much all at once.
Right. Do I like anybody that I want here to double down?
Oh, look, Tyler Johnson again.
Yeah. Shoot. I would so consider this. But okay, I'm gonna go tight end, I think.
I respect it. It does fill a need. It really does. It fills a need for a while.
Here's the problem. I don't think Likely's going to be here either.
Yeah.
He's going to run way too fast.
We're in the 90s, right?
Yeah, he's running way too fast.
I think that list starts with Cade Otton.
I would tend to agree. Let's pretend that this is
Jake Ferguson's kind of a rock at the tight end position.
Ooh,
he's not an athletic freak, but
Jared Deese, though.
He'll get the job done.
Yeah. Likely is my guy. Yeah. I like Likely a lot.
You Likely a lot?
I love the Likely 4 meme. That's him. Nate. That's him. The Likely 4 meme?
The Likely 4.
Yeah, that's him. We love him for that. But I think he's going to go higher than round 4, obviously, or 97. So, Nate, what do you like? What do you like here?
Out of that,
Nate, I'm the GM, but I'm deferring to you as an area scout right now. I want what your assessment. Do I go interior O line? Do I find somebody that I like there? Who are you pounding the table for right now? Talk to me.
My initial thought is to go into that interior offensive line and see who's in there. Just knowing who we're talking about, knowing what team we're talking about.
Yep.
And I'm not seeing a whole lot there that I'm pulling off the board this second. Let's see the linebackers.
Really I like this guy. Linebacker feels nice because
it does feel nice.
I like this. This guy, he's nice.
He's nice. There.
He's nice.
Mike Jones is a little slept on too. I mean, LSU's just linebacker university. It's no problem,
right?
At all. But
I like Diego.
Somehow I think Jake Hansen is going to end up on this team in the undrafted free agents. Yeah. He's just a very Dan Campbell guy. Yeah. I'm borderline going tight end as well, and I think maybe Cade Otton would be my guy there.
Otton and Hawkins would be so much fun.
It would be really fun, and then there's also the part of me that can see Jake Ferguson put up some really solid rock foundation years at Wisconsin. That's a guy that Dan Campbell could end up liking.
Yep.
Just somebody who's not going to freak athlete in any way, shape, or form. And he isn't going to wow you, but he's going to be solid.
Everybody loves Cole Turner.
We could pick Cole Turner.
Stud. Shoot. Chad, what do you guys want to do? Do you guys have a preference? I like Boy Mafe too. He's going to have, I think, a good Senior Bowl week.
Mm.
And if you really want to double down there, I'd be so down to do that. We'd be even remiss to talk about throwing another name at corner. Just saying.
Just taking that
room and I'm just saying.
Growing it even further.
I'm just going to pick him at the end of the draft, to be honest. Let's do it. Let's go Cade.
I think that makes the most sense. If those two guys are there, yes, take them off the board all day.
Well, no doubt.
But they won't be.
What if Likely lasts to like the 5th round? Is this simulator allergic to tight ends?
If Likely lasts until the 5th round in real life, I delete everything.
This number continues to go down.
If he's still there.
Okay.
Oh, there he goes.
Okay. Oh, and there goes Rucker too. Okay.
There's a little run on tight ends.
I feel a lot better now.
You know what I actually did with this next pick?
Ooh, I like it. What's up?
I ended up going in, because at that point in mine, I had taken Thibodeau, Burks, Dean, Sawyer. Alante Taylor was still on the board. And I ended up running with Alante Taylor, which was a lot of fun.
Dang it, Green Bay and you, Tennessee. Gosh, you guys.
Oh, they did take your guys.
Dang it. Okay. Oh,
Yeah, I just
don't
think
even
Taylor's
think
a really nice
Alright,
developmental starter at that range. That was
yeah,
what
I
drew
would
me
take
to him.
Devontae that late.
He
He's
might
not
be
available.
gone.
Oh, he's gone. Um, corner Goodrich is interesting. I still like this guy a lot, Joshua Williams.
Show me that
Safety.
running back tree real quick.
I'm not drafting one of those guys. They don't matter. Don't you remember?
Wait, scroll down a little bit. Scroll down a little bit.
I like him.
My guy, Abram Smith.
Ooh, Zonovan's
Kennedy
here.
Brooks.
Speed.
Not a bad idea either.
Tyler Beatty's
Tyler
here.
Beatty. Yeah.
Holy Devontae Price.
A lot of those guys were
McCormick.
gone by the time we got
Jeez.
there. In the later rounds, I strongly I actually did draft Tyler Algier, just because I think he fits really well. But
how many selections do I have left?
2, 3.
I have
5.
All right. Well, first one I'm doing this. I'm going to take Alex Wright. This dude's a nice edge rusher.
He's if he went to Detroit, he would prosper.
Oh, Alex Wright. A lot of tools, a lot of athleticism, and there's a lot of good technique there.
Imagine rolling out what they already have on their line, and then when they get tired, just saying, "Oh yeah, here's Alex Wright. Have fun."
Yeah, you got that right, buddy.
Tackles are going to be dying.
Nick Ford, too. I'm probably going to do that, I think. Nate, I referred to you. Do you want me to take Nick Ford from Utah? I kind of want to take Nick Ford from Utah.
I feel like beefing up. We didn't take an interior already, did we?
We haven't taken a tackle or an interior guy yet.
That there is going to be at least one pick for the.
You know what I'd like? I'd like to find a guy who can do everything. That's what I'd like to do. Give me a guy who's done everything. Problem is that Kentucky guy's not available still. That would have been really nice. I can't think of his name now.
I know who you're talking about. I just can't think of.
Yeah, he's played all over the Kentucky line. Kentucky's obviously
got
not,
a little
not
bit
Kennard, but it's the other guy.
They kind of have an impressive draft this year. They got a couple guys that I think mid rounds are going to be pretty good.
Yeah, Pascal, the edge rusher.
Yeah,
nice player.
they've got some guys.
Corker at safety, like him. All right. Yeah. Oh, is it Dari Rosenthal? I don't think it's Rosenthal, actually. I think there's another. Hold on. I'm going to do the bad thing. I'm going to scroll up through this because I thought I saw his name. Luke Fortner. That's what I was saying.
There it is. Yeah. Ooh, yeah. Let him go there.
Luke Fortner
desperately need that.
Luke Fortner has played like everywhere.
Wow, that is a very accurate pick, too. That's a super Saints offensive line
pick.
Dang it.
That's a good pick. Okay, we got 180.
Super Saints pick.
I think I'm gonna roll with Nick Ford.
I think that's the move.
Interior offensive line.
I just feel like they're gonna solidify that at some point.
Yeah. We've drafted a ton of trenches. I'm thinking about double dipping at safety. I really am.
Have you watched Reed Blankenship at all?
I have. I watched him for last cycle before he returned a little bit, and the range is there.
It's there, yeah. No, I think he's either he could maybe start at a 2 high, but he'd be a good depth safety for sure.
Ooh. Yeah, I think I'm doing this.
Harvell
Harvell Peel's got range, long arms. Yeah, I like Harvell Peel.
I like him at that spot.
Ooh, yes, Colby Harvell Peel. We're gonna double dip in safety. Ooh, now what? Do we make? Do we double dip that linebacker maybe?
I love repeat names so much. You get Trey Turner coming back to play wide receiver.
Oh yeah.
Get internal
Trey Turner. We gotta just add trees to our offense with Ezekanma, who I feel like is just everybody loves that pick. Leighton Mox. Everybody's like, oh yeah, big dude who can run after the catch. Absolutely. Hand me my player. It's like, well, okay, you all can't have him.
Yeah. It's a hive mind. The NFL draft Twitter especially is a hive mind.
Yeah, it is.
For 90% of the time.
If only Patricia was still in charge. He'd be like, Bill Belichick would take this man. We got to save him for Bill. Do they have a pick left? If not, it'll be Bill's. No, we don't. He'll be Bill's pick in free agency. It's fine. All right. So we've done double dip edge. We took Dean and Scene. We took Pierce, Otten, Wright, Ford, Harvell, Peel.
The only thing we didn't address that they might address, but they won't do it this late,
We got 2
is
picks.
adding somebody into that corner spot.
Yeah, I'm
They
thinking
will not
about
do it this late, but
I'm gonna do that now. Joshua Williams, Fayetteville State. Remember the
Fayetteville.
name for Senior Bowl week.
Yep.
Just remember his name for Senior Bowl week.
He's gonna be another one that climbs really
transitions really well. I think he does a great job in man. He can be up there and press. I think he'll have a good week. Oh, what to do? What to do with the final pick? We've done 2 safeties. We've done a linebacker. We've done a couple edge rushers. We got an interior lineman. I will say, as of right now, the receiver room is not very full.
That's true. I mean, you definitely need it.
That's all I'm gonna say. Alec Pierce isn't there. I'm gonna, you know what? Yeah, let's finish it out. I'm gonna go Danny Gray from SMU. Really nice player. Good tracking the football, explosive. I like that.
I like where we're set up here, actually. I think it's turned out really nicely. Especially being fair to the board.
Yeah.
Being fair to the board has been nice.
Translate from German.
I love German.
All right, so this is the squad that we're rolling with here. We got Aiden Hutchinson, Nakobe Dean, Lewis Seen, Alec Pierce, Kate Otten, Alex Wright, Nick Ford, Colby Harvell Peel, Joshua Williams, Danny Gray. I like that unit a lot.
Yeah.
So Nate, what did you end up doing late in your draft?
It was kind of one of those things. I mentioned most of it. After Alante Taylor, Tyler Algier, kind of just adding a change of pace, the running back spot.
That's a stud.
And then Reed Blankenship just kind of rounded it out. I didn't do it. There wasn't a whole lot after that I really felt too confident in the picks, just because I'm not that deep into the class. But there were guys that just filling the need. A lot of what the Lions are going to do is going to be best player available.
And they should.
Yeah.
And you know what, folks? We didn't take a quarterback, and I'm not sorry.
No, me either. I didn't actually. In any of the drafts that I've done, I've not taken a quarterback.
Yep.
Next year, we'll talk again.
We'll talk again. You know what? We can fire up the 2023 mock draft simulator right now, actually, and mess with the quarterback position if you guys want to do that. No. But that's the group. It's a group I like. If you get Dean and Seen both after getting Hutchinson, the rest of the team should forfeit, and they're basically playing to your grade curve after that.
That's an obscene draft class.
Yeah.
Bye.
Hey, you got that right on. You got right out of the nose there. Right out in the nose. This group is built for tough.
Would you say we made the right picks?
I think so. There were no gray areas.
Oh, no. You went there.
Hey, we had to.
We have so many people clicking the exit button right now.
Yeah, everybody's like, oh, what are these idiots doing? Leave. This was fun. When we fix teams, we're doing the mocks going forward.
Yeah, I think
there's no doubt about it. It's a lot more fun. Jaguars fans, I'm sorry. I'll repay you. Put a mock draft for you guys on the YouTube channel, I promise.
Yeah.
But we
could do a video. We could do a video.
Yeah. We can
be fun.
No problems. Yep, we can record in here, which is nice actually. On StreamYard. Great place to record, stream, and do all that good stuff. And put your logo on here and put the Bellagio and fountains behind it.
Braden said that Pierce might end up as a top 60 guy for him. I agree.
Yeah.
Sincerely.
Mm-hmm.
Sincerely agree with that statement.
Yes, this was fun. Lots of favorites. Pierce might be top 60 for me, dang. That's high praise from Braden there. But I think Alec Pierce is that type of dude. I do think Packers fans who are here, that's a guy round 2 to be familiar with for sure. Just because of the size, the separation skills, and he blocks his tail off, which just the next Alan Lazard, plug him in there just with a little bit more juice. So, yeah, this unit would be a great start to a rebuild that I think is going to be quicker than we think. And I know some people have already started calling it, and I'm going to remove this. We come back here, but some people have already started calling it the Lions make the playoffs next year. I don't know if I'm going to go that far per
That's a
se.
tough division to make the playoffs in.
However, it is a last place schedule.
Yeah.
And if those last place teams stay bad, I don't see why that turnaround couldn't happen for the Detroit Lions. So there you go. If you guys have Q&A, now is the time. It's Q&A time. We'll answer anything NFL draft related if you guys have it. If
or
not, we're probably going to sign off. Nate, who you like this weekend? Like we said, do you think the same four as I said? The Titans, Bills,
more or less, yeah. I would love
Niners,
it if the Bengals ended up winning, but
me too.
But yeah, I think that's probably the outcome. I would love to see Green Bay win, and then I would love to see Green Bay blow the Rams out of the water. That's my least favorite team in the NFL besides the Falcons.
It would be incredibly poetic if the Packers beat the last two NFC champions en route to their own NFC championship and beat the Niners.
And then Aaron Rodgers departs.
Beat the Niners, beat the Bucks, win the Super Bowl. Aaron Rodgers can retire. It's fine.
Bro, he ain't retired. He's going somewhere.
Yeah, you're probably right.
He's going somewhere. At this point, probably gonna stay. But
yeah, that's my thought too. Actually, is with Aaron Rodgers. I do think Bengals, Chiefs, Rams, Packers. What I'm rooting for. Not feeling great about anything. Honestly, it's funny. It's funny. Like I feel like the safest about the Titans winning. And yet the Bengals are like better at so many different positions. If you looked at it individually, than the Titans are.
And they're hot right now. Like
and
the
they
Titans
are hot.
may be well rested, but the Bengals are out for blood.
Like it's like they could win, but not really. I will say, Braden, I will be happy with Bengals Chiefs. I do want to see Bengals Bills though, because I just think that will be
would be insane.
It would be just two franchises that haven't seen much in quite some time.
Yeah.
Both on the doorstep of a Super Bowl berth. I just, it's so hard. We didn't like Josh Allen as a prospect, but my goodness, I don't think I've seen a better, maybe one of Rodgers' games in the first Super Bowl run they had. I don't know if I've seen that. I can count on my fingers, I think, the games I've seen that were better than Allen's against the Patriots. That game, he was in his bag. That's against a good defense.
And probably the greatest coach of all time, in
that
terms
too.
of success, especially.
He was good. Like he was on, even from that first touchdown pass, I think, where you buy a little time like that. Spencer Brown, Senior Bowl guy, helps you out a little bit, mini pocket, shows off that athleticism, and you just float one to Dawson Knox. You're just on. Ooh, a great question.
That is a really good question.
Great question. Who's playing better right now? Right now, I mean, if Allen had a pedestrian game and they won like 26-20 or something like that, and they didn't, I would say Burrow by far is just rolling, because the dude is dissecting people now. And my favorite thing, I saw this today too. Somebody was like, "Oh, why are you guys diminishing Mac Jones' ceiling when you did it with Joe Burrow?" And I'm sitting there like, who did it with Joe Burrow? Who thought Joe Burrow didn't have a ceiling? Because again, everybody thinks the ceiling has to be like athletically or something. That's not what a ceiling is. No. Burrow's processing and his deep accuracy have been light years better this season. Obviously, Jamar Chase helps with that. Chemistry with T. Higgins helps with that.
Yeah.
But my goodness, if you watch, and I want to do a video on this, but if you watch some of Burrow's throws to Chase, he is throwing the ball with Chase is about 1.5 yards, basically trailing the defensive back, and he knows he's gonna stack him eventually and score.
Mm-hmm.
Burrow is throwing to spots, and it's deadly accurate. His poise is ridiculous. Like if the Packers lose and the Bengals win, I will be in black and orange next weekend like nobody's business. I want that team to win so bad.
I think that team has just become America's sweetheart in a way.
America's team.
I think
Dallas
it really
is out.
is.
Fluff them.
Dallas was never, not any time in my lifetime, actually America's team.
Oh, man.
Half of the city of Dallas doesn't want to be a part of America anymore. So how can you be America's team?
The thing with America's team is I understand because they had 41 million viewers on Sunday for that Dallas-San Francisco game. I get it. But back to Braden's question. Who's playing?
In all fairness, it makes sense, but I'm never going to admit that.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
I would say Allen, barely.
I would say Allen is.
Allen just had a ridiculous game. The
if
game was
Burrow
insane.
were to win this week, it's going to be a lot on him.
Yeah.
And I think that might put him over the edge or a little bit closer, but it's tight. I mean, it's
They got to
tight,
throw the
but
ball. They got to throw the
yeah.
ball. They got to dice up Tennessee. And I'll say this one last thing about Wild Card Weekend. If I'm the Bengals, I want to be ahead immediately. I hope I lose the toss. Tennessee defers. I want to put the pressure on their rusty team coming back to full health right away. Put the pressure on. Let Hendrickson and Hubbard get after guys and see how they react. If the Titans fall behind and start pressing, you have them right where you want them.
Yeah.
And I think it's the same goes with the Niners. I think I want so bad that Green Bay scores first to make the Niners press. Green Bay did the same thing last year in the NFC Championship game. They got so far behind trying to defer, didn't help, and they just couldn't climb all the way back in. And I think Bills Chiefs, I don't think it matters. Those two teams can come back from anything. Those two teams are nuts. That's going to be the best game of the weekend. But if you're the Rams, Niners, and Bengals on the road, or you're the Packers at home, or the Titans at home, score first.
Yeah, I agree. I think you got to hit hard and move quickly, to take that, your motivation, your the run that you're on, the tear that you're on, in all honesty, and keep running with it,
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah, it is really hard to get up on Tennessee. And that's what I think makes them dangerous, and nobody wants to talk about it. Like they will, if they're ahead by 7, Derrick Henry and that offensive line is going to gut you like a fish. They really are. Or they're just going to beat you down. They're going to kick you while you are down, and they will not stop. And you have to get ahead. You have to on Tennessee. Because they'll beat you down. And the problem is the Bengals are that like inexperienced team that they're not ready for this type of stage. They're not accustomed to it yet. The Bills and the Chiefs have a little bit of a pass against Tennessee, I think, because they've, obviously not this year, the Chiefs, but they beat them in the championship game 2 years ago, coming from behind. So like they have that experience. The Bills, they beat Tennessee. Like, the Bengals, they got to get off to a hot start. But, so divisional picks at the end of our show. How about that? I'm fixing the Lions. Hope you guys enjoyed. Braden, thanks for sticking around for a while. Mason as well. 1777 memorabilia. I know Cosplay GM, they were in here earlier as well. Appreciate you guys for watching this week. Next week, big show. We talk about the Senior Bowl in depth. Nate and I kind of have to decide what we're doing for that. So we'll see. But like, I'm excited. It's going to be a fun show. The quarterback's obviously going to get a ton of talk next week. Maybe we'll throw out some predictions, superlatives, all that good stuff. And we'll see where it goes. It's probably going to be a long show.
Yeah.
Compared to this. A lot of positions.
We might need to break it up.
A lot of positions to get to. We'll pace it. We'll pace it enough. I think we'll pace it. Because Senior Bowl's in like a week and a half, basically.
True. It is fast.
Well, 12 days till the first practice. So thank you guys again for watching. We appreciate you guys. Maybe throw a sub down there if you haven't. If you're watching on YouTube, of course. Don't think you can sub on Twitter.
You can follow.
You could follow on Twitter, but if you're on Twitter and still watching, YouTube channels in the little scroll bar at the bottom there. And thank you guys so much. And we will see you guys next week. See you soon. Nate, do you have a nice little finishing thought?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I'm doing the Whole30 diet for January, right? It's where you can basically have nothing. It's essentially meat and vegetables and fruit and no corn or anything. You know what I found, Jake, that made my heart really sing today?
What's that?
I found a king cake that is Whole30 approved.
No
and if
way you
don't
did.
have motivation to go throughout your day, do what I did and find that king cake. Find your king cake.
Find your king cake.
Find your king cake. The
go.
official slogan of Nate Williamson Industries.
Love it. All right. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you next week for Jake and Nate. Peace.